Welcome to Smart Sex, Smart Love. We're talking about sex goes beyond the taboo, and talking about love goes beyond the honeymoon. My guest today is Amadeo Aram, a sports and exercise professional and certified personal trainer from Berlin, where he was born and raised. Amadeo works with gay men all over the world to help them transform their bodies and their health. His goal is to help gay men build the body they always have dreamed of. Amadeo specializes in strength training and fat loss and has a passion for martial arts. His motto in life is grow and contribute. Today he's going to talk about why he chose to be a fitness coach exclusively for gay men, the biggest mistakes men make when working toward their fitness goals, and how to stay fit at any age. Welcome, Amadeo.
Thank you for having me, Joe. Thank you so much.
Yep, I'm so happy to have you. And full disclosure to people, I've been seeing Amadeo as a personal fitness coach for probably a year now, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yep. And it's been incredible for me, the accountability, the ease. I mean, I could go into a lot of stuff, but and then I decided I really wanted to share him with the world. And although he's already very known in the gay world for sure, so we're going to just start. So Amadeo, tell our listeners a little more about what you do and how you got interested in fitness and the health industry.
Yeah, perfect. So as you already mentioned, I'm a fitness coach, but mostly now working as an online fitness coach. So I do think that not many people understand the concept of, okay, what does an online fitness coach actually do? Because in their mind it's like, okay, like probably you're in a Zoom chat and you working out with someone one-on-one while looking how they're doing their exercise form. But actually the whole concept of the online coaching is much more holistic. So, I mean, Joe already knows it because he is working with me, but we're basically focusing on how to intelligently train at the gym. So I'm guiding all my clients on when they're stepping into the gym, what can they do in terms of their workouts, so that they're feeling confident in doing the machines correctly, in progressing correctly, and just making sure that they're building some knowledge around the topic of sports and exercise. Then the second part is, of course, the structural nutrition part. So where we're making sure that everyone knows how to fuel their body to feel energized, to build more muscle, as well as also just to reduce any kind of body fat. And then we're having what I call the lifestyle part is all about making sure we're managing stress, we're looking at sleep patterns, recovery, digestion, all these things that are also very crucial, of course, when it comes to the full body recomposition that basically all of my clients are looking at.
And what about a personal story? Like, how did you get into this?
Yeah, very good question. So I do think when I'm looking back at the younger Amadeo, when I was a teenager, I wasn't actually very athletic. I was kind of very, very small. So they called me the walking meter here in Germany. I mean, all of the American American listeners won't now understand what a meter is because in Europe we use a metric, but it's basically maybe for an adult, maybe hip height. So no, but they called me the walking meter because I wasn't so tall back then and I was pretty skinny as well. So when that outward appearance at that age, and then you're finding out, wow, you're gay, doesn't make it easy. So that's why I thought at a very young age, hey, I need to somehow overcome this kind of shortcomings of my appearance. So I remember that at a very young age, I tried to be one of the cool kids and started smoking weed at like 13 or 14 already. Which then led very quickly to major panic attacks. And I remember like being at the psychiatrist when I was like 13, and she's like, "You're too young to have panic attacks." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really suffering here." And the one thing that had helped me back then was doing sports. So I really got into exercising. I started going to the soccer pitch, just playing soccer every day, going to the gym, and then I saw, wow, that's not only helping me to overcome my fears, it's also helping me in all the other areas of my life. When I'm at the gym, I'm feeling like I'm making progress, I'm accomplishing something, I build better self-confidence, I'm looking better when I look at myself in the mirror. And from a mental perspective even, it helped me so much. So like making this experience myself back then was like, wow, okay, I have to make this as a living and help people with the same that I struggled with.
Thank you for sharing that. Why only gay men? Why is that, or primarily gay men? Why did you decide that?
And it might sound a little bit cheesy, but it shows me. No, I mean, yes, of course, I'm gay myself. And when I started working as a personal trainer here in Berlin, I quickly onboarded a few personal training clients, and independently from each other. It's not like the first few weren't even like from referrals, but one from a gym, one from maybe from friends. So everywhere I had a few clients from, and one thing that I didn't know back then, but then found out within the few months of working with them, they were basically all gay.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
from one guy where I didn't know it, I was then at a club and I saw him and his boyfriend next to me. Was like, "Oh, you're gay? I didn't even know it." Even though we'd been working together for a few months already on a weekly basis. So then I thought like, hey, okay, like most of my clients are gay anyways, and that's the easiest for me to connect with. I understand their struggles, and it resonates a lot. So I thought like, okay, why not just really making the focus on, hey, only working with gay men in order to make this as enjoyable for me as possible because I'm
mhm.
working with my dream clients, as well as really helping them find the right fit for their struggles.
I also feel that in this last year, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I've ever said this to you. It feels like you've gotten more popular. Like when I get online, I'm on Facebook, I'm noticing more and more of my friends are seeing you. And I didn't notice that before. Are you getting more clients more popular?
Well, yeah, the thing is, I'm doing a lot of Facebook marketing, or let's say I'm very much visible on Facebook. Yeah,
Okay.
so I mean, yeah, if any of my Instagram followers would hear this now, they would be surprised that I have posts on Facebook, which was surprising for myself, like reached like 1,000 comments. Where I was like, wow, that's insane. Like, how can you
Wow.
post something and 1,000 people are commenting on the post? It was like mind-boggling for me. But Facebook works very well for me. Yeah? It's an easier platform for me to connect with the people, to really find my tribe, to build an audience, and to give value there. So I didn't understand the whole Instagram and TikTok game so far. I know, like Joe, I talked to you, and I know you're having like close to 700,000 TikTok followers,
Yeah,
which is insane for me
I know.
because like I don't understand TikTok. I don't even have it on my phone, and Instagram is also for me like I don't understand it. So yeah, Facebook is a thing.
No, it's great. Your following has grown. And I remember when I first hired you, I was like, do I want a gay, coach? The gay community can be so harsh and, competitive. And I'm saying this on purpose because there might be gay listeners and you're nothing like that. When you're not harsh. I've always said this to you, and when I'm more harsh on myself, and I'll be like, oh, I have this appointment with you today, and I got to tell you that I didn't follow through or whatever, and you're just like, you're just naturally, well, okay, so how do we go to the next thing? I don't know, how can you describe how you got like that, or is that just your nature?
I think that's just my nature. Yeah, I mean, I needed to understand that I also had to get a little bit tougher on my clients sometimes. So in the beginning, so like I am the nice guy. I think I'm always trying to. I think you call these people like people pleaser. Huh? So I
Mm.
really love when there's harmony, and it's tough for me when people don't like me. But I had to accept throughout my career in the last few years, working as a trainer and being on social media, that some people will not like you. That's just the
Mhm.
truth. It's inevitable. Plus, also when you're working as a coach, you need to have some kind of authority. Yeah. So meaning I need to be able to call people out on their own bullshit, but in the nicest way possible. Yeah. So I think this is what you just said. Also, I think being always with empathy and making sure that I understand the struggles, plus also then making sure that I can somehow help them overcome the struggles while not being, not too harsh with them.
Well, let's springboard off that and can you tell the guys what you do? Like, what's the process you do in working with your clients?
Yeah, 100%. Like if anyone is interested in transforming their health and they're feeling like, hey, they need a little bit more accountability, guidance, and structure there, then I'm usually hopping on a call with them, making sure that we really putting down a roadmap for them that they're feeling comfortable with. Yeah, and that's also important for me because I'm having a community, and you know the truth. Like we're a tribe, which means like we're having our WhatsApp group. So everyone who needs to join the community needs to be a good fit for it. Yeah, if you're having one person peeing in the pool, everyone needs to leave the pool. Yeah, and the same applies to community. When you're having someone who is a dick inside this community, it's not a great tribe anymore. So I'm quite selective now, yeah, with who I'm letting into the tribe. And I have to confess, I also told a few people off and said like, hey, you might not be a good fit for us. Yeah. But that always means that both of us need to be fine with going the next step, which means then we're doing an onboarding call, where we then going to make sure that we having the status quo set. From the status quo, we can make sure we set some milestones, and the milestones we can break down in the first few action steps so that everyone has 100% clarity on what the first steps are in the first week. And from there, we're building habits. So always adding one habit at a time. I mean, Joe, you know it, you're having your habit sheet. Yeah, it's super crucial that you are integrating those things into your lifestyle. You're always making sure that every single step that we try to automate, that everyone feels comfortable with. So the journey can be quite individual for every single one. Yeah. Some people might be only counting their steps in the first week and making sure that they're hitting their water targets, while others starting with 5 to 6 strength trainings at the gym and starting to count their calories. Yeah, so this is completely different and individual. But for me, it's always important that on a weekly basis, I'm sure what's been implemented from the client side and what do they need from me in order to move forward.
I really appreciate the individualization, because you remember, for me at least, I was getting confused about which tracking sheets and how to do Google Docs, and I was all screwed up, and you simplified it for me. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, that's super important. And this is something that I've had to learn. Like I had this program set in the beginning. I was like, hey, this is going to be how it needs to work. But then I found like how everyone is so individual, yeah, and everyone had their individual needs and lifestyles. So I'm now super happy to always adapt everything individually to every single client.
And you say there are 3 big mistakes men make when they're trying to stay in shape and get in shape. What are they, and how do you help them correct these mistakes?
Yeah, so the first thing that I'm seeing is that people are focusing only on doing more cardio training. Yeah, so in their head, it's somehow like, oh, cardio training burns body fat, so I need to be doing more cardio training. And then I'm hearing people going on the treadmill a few times per week, and then they're just feeling frustrated because they're not getting the results that they would like to get. Yeah? And the biggest problem with this is that of course, they will be burning for a few calories while they're on the treadmill itself. Yeah? However, studies have shown over and over again that then they will be eating those calories back because they feel like, oh, I've burned them, and then they can eat more. This resonates here. And
Yes.
so the thing is, it's not a long-term solution. The long-term solution is always by implementing strength training. Yeah, doing more strength training will help actively to raise the metabolism by building more active tissue. So muscle is an active tissue, which then helps you to use more energy on a daily basis, also while you're sleeping. So when we're looking at very muscular people, they are eating a lot. Yeah, so I just went recently on a little retreat with 30 other fitness coaches where we were invited from my mentor. Yeah, so I'm part of a mentorship where we only fitness coaches, and I saw how much everyone was eating, and I was like, okay, these are all extremely fit guys. And some people would think like, when you're very fit, very lean, you might be eating very little. Sometimes the opposite is true. It's just about the right food choices and the right amount of food. So yeah, first thing first, do strength training instead of only focusing on cardio training. Cardio training on top, but prioritize strength training.
That makes sense. I do notice if I stop doing strength training, I will start to gain weight. So I do notice that is more important, it seems like you're saying, than just cardio.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that we might even have to highlight here. You are working with me as your online fitness coach while you're having 2 personal trainers in where you're based.
I do. I know. Because I find it, and this is a good thing. How do you find it limiting? Like if I like to be in person when I'm being coached to do my strength training, but you do it online. Isn't that limiting?
Not much, because I'm expecting all my clients to send me over their exercise videos. So usually when I'm onboarding someone who is not working with a personal trainer, they are just sending me over how they're exercising. And let's face it, once you have mastered a few basic strength exercises, you don't need a personal trainer anymore next to you. You know how to squat, you know how to do a pull-up or to do the bench press. And the progression doesn't go through always alternating every single exercise. So progression is coming through different intensities, different volumes, interset rest breaks, frequency, all these things will change, but not the exercise itself. So you will be doing squats for 10 years. And once you've mastered this exercise, you're fine. You don't need a personal trainer next to you.
I think a lot of people are like me, though. I have one so that I go. If I didn't have one, I wouldn't be like, I'm accountable to him rather than just to myself. Do you have other clients like that?
Yeah. So that's why, of course, I mean, once they started investing into their health and fitness with the online coaching that I provide, is usually enough accountability already. Also me asking them, hey, have you done it? Yeah. I mean, I'm holding you also accountable all the other lifestyle choices that you are doing here. But I do have a few online coaching clients who have a personal trainer additionally. So that's the thing. That's because it's not an either or. I'm often having people saying like, online coaching, no, I want someone in person next to me. No, I would say usually, and this is from working with literally hundreds of personal training clients and now hundreds of online coaching clients getting much better results. Why? Because it's much more holistic. I mentioned already the training, lifestyle, and nutrition part, which is very much often not covered with in-person personal training.
Mm-hmm. And you're really good also, I think we should also acknowledge, about food choices and how to help you with that. Like, can you talk about that? Like how you help people with food choices?
Yeah, 100%. So there's about, again, I mean, because you also ask about the mistakes, and I think we can circle back to this one and then go into the food choices. Because what I'm always seeing is that people eating very little food. They're having in their head this one sentence, eat fewer calories than you burn. Yeah. And of course, there's some truth to this sentence, 100%. If you're not eating for a week, you will be losing body weight for sure. Yeah. But it's not that easy because everyone knows this sentence and still everyone is struggling. Yeah. So it's just as saying, hey, if you want to be rich, you just need to earn more money. Yes, simply said, but not so easily done. And the same applies to your nutrition. If you're always trying to eat less food, you're having again this effect that your body is craving a lot. So you're eating wrong food choices because self-discipline is a lie. It's not about you staying self-disciplined. You just need to give the right food choice to your body so it doesn't even have the cravings. Additionally, we're having high inflammation levels when people are not eating the right foods and not enough foods. Yeah. Plus the metabolism getting very slow if we are not eating enough. Yeah. And these things are all then the main mistakes again when it comes to reducing body fat. Usually the main feedback that I get from my clients is, wow, I'm eating so much more than before. Yeah, because no one ever ate 200 grams of protein by chance. So actually hitting the amount of protein that they're supposed to hit is eating a lot of foods. And they still have, like, for example, if we say 200 grams of protein equals roughly 800 calories. 800 calories is not a lot to eat, but 200 grams of protein to eat, yes, will take you quite some effort. Yeah, you will be eating quite a lot of chicken, for example. Yeah.
Yes. And what about the whole idea of older men and working differently with the age of being older with the younger? Because I notice everybody, all ages are in your groups when I'm in them. So how do you work differently with each age group?
Yeah, true. I just recently found out, so the youngest guy in the group now is 21 and the oldest is 75.
Wow.
Quite an age gap. Yeah. And of course, the principles are still the same. So both will be doing some kind of squat variation and will be focusing on progressively overloading their weights. So meaning that they're getting stronger every session. Those are just principles that will always apply. Yeah. But of course, the training routine itself for the 75-year-old will look different from the 20-year-old or the 21-year-old. Yeah. And usually, of course, we're making sure that we're focusing a lot on stability for older men, especially with a 75. That's definitely a topic that you need to focus on, stability. We need to adapt, of course, exercises in a way that they feel comfortable doing them. So maybe especially in the beginning when they're starting with me, older men, they're doing lots of machine-based work, so that they're feeling comfortable at the gym and they're also feeling safe at the gym.
Mm-hmm. I think I told you my trainer is 78 years old, but he's in better shape than me and a lot of people. I mean, you're in great shape, but he's in as good of a shape as you at 78 years old, I would say.
Crazy. Yeah, and that's where it makes a difference. The older you get, the more important it is that you are doing some kind of strength training. You can tell he's 78 years old, and if he's as fit as me as a 32 years old, I mean, amazing. And that's the secret. Yeah. So
Yes.
if you can immediately tell, like, if someone is working out or not, especially as they're aging, and it's never too late. That's the thing. I had people coming to me and they're like 58. They're like, at 58, I'm not sure if it's still worth it to even start at the gym and to get into exercise. Of course it is. Like, preferably you're having another 42 years, yeah, where you want to have the best life possible, enjoying your retirement. And that means if you're getting into the gym and working out from 58 to 68, for example, is
Yes.
a completely different lifestyle afterwards, instead of not working out from 58 to 68. So that's really where the magic is happening.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because one thing I would say to my trainer in the beginning, when I started 15 years ago with him, I said to him, what's the point of this? Like you're saying, and then what if I get sick, and then this is all for nothing? And he said, I know a lot of people think that way, and it's crazy to think that. He said, but if you do get sick and you're in shape or in better shape, you're going to have a better chance at recovery, better chance during surgery, whatever you need is going to go better because you're going to be in better shape. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The recovery is just so much better. That's the thing. I've heard recently again that when elderly people fall, they're breaking their legs and then they're going into the hospital and they won't recover from this because it just takes so long for them to actually be able to walk again, and then it's going downhill. So it's really a thing that people are falling at a certain age, and yeah, of course, from the side effects from this long term are then dying.
Do you work with couples that want to work out together and be in the program with you together?
Yes, I had a few. Not sure even if it worked so fine so far. I had like 3 couples. Yeah, I do a few, but it's not a thing so much. No.
Probably less so with the gay male population, maybe, right? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
there's more individuals.
as you're asking this, I'm just reflecting why that might be. But I had like a few couples, but not too many. Usually they're doing it on their own, interestingly. Yeah.
And tell us about this motto you have about grow and contribute. What does it mean to you?
I mean, I love it. I think it's actually from Tony Robbins who says this. Yeah.
Oh.
And I think it's perfect because you're always, when you're trying to contribute, you're always growing yourself. So what we're doing right now. Yeah? So of course it might be uncomfortable in the beginning to just sit here and do a podcast. Yeah. But it's a way of contributing. And of course you said earlier also before we started, you said like, hey, you love teaching, you're giving your message out there. And the same is for me. I mean, yes, I need to make sure that I'm putting my message out there and giving out value. And while I'm doing this, I'm growing myself. I'm growing my knowledge. I mean, of course, the way I'm speaking and teaching everyone, it's differently than in my head, yeah, and in my mind by teaching it. So I do think teaching is the best way of making this knowledge inside your head. Yeah, and the next thing is, of course, that you're just building more confidence while you're doing this stuff. Yeah, while you're putting yourself out there.
What do you do when somebody drops out? If they're in the middle of it and they just like probably ghost you? I don't know if people do that or not. Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, tough one. In the beginning, I always thought it was me. It was one learning. I had one very, very successful client here in Berlin. He's a founder of a very huge company in Berlin. It's a huge fintech company having 5,000 employees here. So he's like, this is $1 billion company.
Yeah.
And he ghosted me. And I was like, must be me. I fucked something up. I was like the people pleaser in my head again, like, did I say something wrong? What was it? And then I found out later he couldn't even reply because he was at the hospital and they took his phone away. He wasn't able to reply. In my head, it was like, must be me. Yeah. But this was a huge learning. So everyone who is like always maybe feeling like me and they taking things personally, for me, it stopped that day, or at least it got a little bit lower of me taking things personal, especially when it comes to client ghosting me. Because yes, back to your question, it does happen that people are dropping out for different reasons. And the first thing that they love doing is, of course, ghosting me. Because yes, it's very uncomfortable to tell your coach that you didn't put into practice what you promised him. Yeah. But I think the most important thing is, again, and that's why I'm always telling everyone, I cannot solve problems that I don't know about. The thing is, once we get on a call, just like we do right now here, join me also on this call, we can have a call with my clients, and I'm just going to helping them overcome the problems. Yeah. So once they're fine with meeting again and making sure we're making a new game plan that they can stick to, it's fine, because something can always be implemented and we always can find a solution to the struggles that they're having.
What about supplements? Do you recommend any, and can you talk about them?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm having the base supplements that I'm always recommending all my clients when they're starting. They already get access to those ones in the onboarding. This is usually a high quality magnesium. Magnesium is included in so many pathways in the body, but mostly it's there for recovery. Yeah, so it's faster recovery as well as helps you with sleep. So a high quality magnesium would be the go-to. Then definitely an omega-3 supplement. So some fatty acids proven to help with anti-inflammation, as well as also now new research also shown that it helps with cognitive function. Creatine monohydrate would always recommend, same thing, good for cognitive function as well as also just overall performance at the gym. And last one, which I would usually prescribe, especially if you're not living somewhere where the sun is always shining 365, is a vitamin D supplement. So I'm here in Berlin, Germany, and it's definitely been raining all day today.
Oh, it does that in Germany, right?
Yeah, like summer can be nice, June, July, August. But that's basically it.
And what about this creatine? Because I just started taking that. I was reading the bottle and it said, like you just said, it's really good for when you're strength training. On days I don't strength train, should I still take it?
Yeah, 1%. Yeah, you can take it all the time. Yeah, so like 5 grams in the morning have been proven to be totally fine. Yeah, of course, you see the biggest benefits if you combine it with strength training. But that's, again, another thing that they have found recent studies, especially as you're aging, they're having the biggest benefits from it. And not only from a muscle perspective, but also, as mentioned, from a cognitive perspective.
Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, you said that. Yes. And then do you accept other kinds of clients than just gay men, or do you strictly work with gay guys?
No, I do have a few straight people on board as well. My mentor recently said, like, hey, maybe you should do like a straight tax or something.
Not straight tax?
Charging them higher or something. No, I found it cute. Recently, I had like someone filling in the form on my website, and he put in like, hey, sorry, I need to tell you, I'm straight, but I saw your work and I really liked it. Is there any chance that we can work together anyways, even though I'm straight? And I'm like, okay, maybe. No, I do have a few straight people, but they're usually not part of this community that I've built. So you see, like, you're part of the Pride Tribe. They're not part of this usually, because I want to keep it quite exclusive. And you see, like, there are topics coming up inside this group where I even didn't know, like, this is something very exclusive to the gay community. So people sharing like, hey, I've changed my HIV medication. Is it going to affect my belly fat? Or, so these things coming up inside the community. Yeah?
Right. Specific things for gay men, right?
Yeah, 1%. Yeah. Yeah. And then straight people may not relate to this. They're like then completely confused. How these topics come up in a gay chat.
Right, because really the thrust of your work, I mean, you work with me individually, but the group and getting us together in community in the Pride Tribe, like, is what your big, I think what makes it so effective.
I do think so as well. Yeah, being part of the community is so impactful. Yeah, because
it helps.
They normalize their problems. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm not sure how much I can tell about your journey, but you recently said something to me like, "Hey, I'm struggling with this and that. Am I the only one struggling with this?" And I
Yes.
immediately replied, hey, no, you're not the only one struggling with this. Yeah. It's actually 90% of the other guys, but not everyone likes to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. No, I know. I constantly will feel like that, but no one else is feels as bad as me or does as bad as me. And you're like, no, it's not true. And it helps me when you say that.
Yeah, 1%. Yeah.
And then are you accepting new clients?
I do, yes. Although I mean, yeah. So for me, it's now 20 to 11 p.m. in Berlin. Yes, we agreed on doing this interview now, and said like, yeah, easy, totally fine, doing it 4 p.m. Eastern. But I have to admit, basically, I've been working since this morning, 7 a.m. till kind of now. Yes, I went home in between, had some lunch. Yeah. And then I just had dinner at 7 p.m. with my boyfriend and said like, hey, I'm going back to the office now. So I'm working quite a lot. So yes, I'm still onboarding new clients, but I'm not sure how long.
I don't blame you. It's
So
loud.
the next thing, we talked about this briefly as well, Joe, recently, that I said, hey, like I'm at a point where I feel like I need to hire someone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because you're at this point already where you have built this kind of as a business. And right now I'm a one-man show. So I'm doing anything from hopping with everyone on the roadmap call to the onboarding, putting the resources together, full delivery. And if you were to ask my boyfriend, he would already say, I'm already at a point where I need to hire someone because I'm working way too much.
And you should trust what he's saying, because my husband used to say that to me in the beginning of this 30 some odd years ago, and I didn't listen, but he was right. He was right.
Okay, no, that's good to hear it from you. Yeah, so that would be the steps for me as a business in 2025, I'm thinking, because like now, even in January, we had 15 new people joining in the
Wow.
Pride Tribe. Yeah.
Wow.
And everyone needs individual attention. Yeah. And I would,
Yes.
of course, I'm keeping the service as high as possible. So meaning I have a cap somehow. I have to admit to myself that I have to cap out and say at some point, hey, I cannot accept anyone new until I solve this cap and say like, hey, I need to get someone on board to help me to take care of this business.
Definitely. What else would you like people to know before we come to an end that we didn't get to that you wanted to make sure you said?
I'm just thinking. I think we covered it pretty well. Huh? So definitely, again, want to highlight if anyone is struggling with this and felt like, hey, I've been doing lots of cardio. I've been trying to eat less foods, but hey, I'm not feeling confident taking my shirt off. I'm not feeling confident at the gym. There's a solution. Yeah. So feel free to reach out. And even if you're not keen to join the Pride Tribe, I'm happy to guide everyone, send free resources. If they're joining the Fit Game Men group on Facebook, I mean, we're now like 4,500 guys in there. I'm doing regular live streams there, getting lots of value out. So there's a solution if anyone is keen and struggling with this. Don't suffer in silence. Get some help, and then we can figure it out.
Well, you told my social media team this, and I really like it, so I want to say it. It is not complicated or overwhelming when trying to stay in shape and healthy with the right routines, practices, and habits. That's a good quote from you.
Yeah, and it's true. Yeah,
Yep.
People are always overcomplicating it. Yeah, and I think there's a few easy principles that we just need to stick to when it comes to staying fit and healthy. Yeah, and it's just about having someone who is showing you these steps, holding you accountable, guiding you along the way, and showing you the path. And then it has worked for all of my clients who were really committed to making a change.
All right. So how can people find you, Amadeo?
Yeah, just easily on almost all the social media platforms, not TikTok, unfortunately. But yeah, it's Amadeo Aram, so Amadeo Aram. So it will be the same for Instagram and Facebook for sure. I think that's the easiest way. Or if you want to check out my website, it's ama-aram.com.
Great. And we'll put links in there too, so people will be able to find you that way. And isn't there a link to come to Pride Tribe, or they find it at your other medias?
Yeah. So the Pride Tribe itself, that's only for the paid client memberships. Yeah.
Oh.
So where you, the WhatsApp chat itself, yeah, it's only for all the clients. But there is a free group, which is called the Fit Game Men group on Facebook.
Oh, that's right.
And there you can, just apply answer the membership questions. Even with this community, I got a little bit more harsh. So if people are trying to join and they're having no photo, or they are just not answering the question, I'm like, you're not a good fit. I
Right.
need a basic amount of commitment and also no trolls. So yeah, if you're keen to join, just ask to join the FitCaman group on Facebook.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure having you on my show, Amadeo. I'm glad we did this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And you can hear more of my podcasts at smartsexsmartlove.com, or also you can go to joecourt.com, JOEKORT.com. My podcasts are also there. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. My handle is at Dr. Joe Court, DRJOEKORT. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay safe and stay healthy.